I'm going to get 6 guys out here right now. We're going to walk through. Can you grab a basketball as well? We're going to walk through the drill that we do every single day. We call it the hands drill, okay? It's called the hands drill, and it's on defense. Can I get 2 guards right here? The bigs on the box over there, please, and the other 2 guards right here. This drill is born like, most things that come about out of necessity. The Utah Jazz, the first 10 games of the season, we were leading the NBA in free throw attempts, allowed, and fouls. We were a hacking group, and we needed to show our hands and be more disciplined in how we defended. And this is what came out of it. So it's a lot about pick and roll. Some of this might not be applicable to under 14-year-old girls. We might not run as many pick and rolls and have as many defensive coverages. But, it's just a general philosophy of how you approach the game. And ours was, as a team, you are where you put your emphasis as a coach. And if you pick something that matters to you and you emphasize it every single day, your players will be able to execute it. And for us, it was pick and roll defense and not fouling, and that's what we wanted to convey to our players. So right now, I'm going to walk you through the drill. What's going to happen is the ball starts here. And you're good up there. As a coach, I'm a coach and you guys are there. Okay, so what's going to happen as soon as the ball's down here, where should you 3 players be? You should always be shifting towards the ball. The ball will always move you. All right, whenever the ball moves, you should be moving, okay? So the ball's here, everyone's shifted, that's great. On this pass, you're going to close out. And we call it a high school closeout because we want to emphasize the back to the basics, simple things, doing them right. And on this closeout, I want you to chop your feet, high hands with this, and then get touch distance to the player. Okay, you should be up into them and be able to touch them and showing your hands, right? So you touch them, then show your hands. You're going to jab, give me a jab. You can take the fake with your back foot and get right back up. Okay, you're shifted, brilliant, that's great. So now you're going to swing the basketball. All right, ball moves, what happens? You move, great, exactly. So you're going to shift right here to the nail. You see that little thing right there? Yep, we call it the nail. It's the dead center of the court. All right, that's a demarcation for all of our team of where they need to get to, right? So that helps give accountability to the players. They know that's where they need to be on defense. When the ball moves and we say shift, you got to shift to the nail. Okay, so you get all the way there. So as that pass is received, same thing. High school closeout, chop your feet, get up into the handler, okay? You're going to come set a pick and roll. All right, you can say, the biggest thing is you got to communicate as a big in pick and roll defense. All right, that's your biggest job. You got to be loud, up, long, and active. Lula. All right, that's what we call it. We like giving acronyms and things that can stick in players' heads. All right, we have a lot of terminology, as our players know, and it seems corny sometimes, but it really helps them remember things. All right, so we want you to be Lula. Okay, so you're going to say, we'll say down for this one. You're going to force the pick and roll down. So you're keeping it on the side right now. Okay, so you are Lola. So he's got Lula, and you got Lola. Okay, so Lola is lock. So when we say lock, we want physicality on the basketball. Okay, we always want to be physical on the basketball, but we're also going to show our hands. So you're very physical up in this defender's hip. As he comes off the pick and roll, you're over and you have this hand down. Right? We're always very active with our hands. We tell our players to eat space. We want them to eat space. Eat as much as you can. All right, so you're here, you're shifted, you're eating space with your hands as well. You're Lula, you're active, you're eating space as well. That's great. All right? So you want to be touch distance. We always tell our players to be touch distance. You're able to touch his hip, and you have physicality. And as the ball comes at you, you concede ground. Okay? You're going to roll to the basket on this. Okay, so we don't want to be too engaged. This is only 3 players. Normally there's more players. There's going to be a weak side bottom. And that's his responsibility to take that roll, man. All right, but right now, as you're at the nail, you're doing a great job. We're just going to have you stunting at the roll, man, so he doesn't feel comfortable throwing that pass. Okay, you're creating indecision for the ball handler with it in his hands. Okay, now we're going to be up. You're going to be up a little bit still. Yep, your responsibility is the ball, and that's important. In pick and roll defense, these 2 men are responsible for the ball. The weak side will take care of itself, but you got to stop the ball because if you leave, that's not good, right? We don't want to be worried about him. We want to be worried about the ball handler. That's the most important man right now. Okay, so you're in the ball and you're active. On the pass, we should see 4 hands. So as he skips it out, all 4 hands should be up. Good. So we want a hang time pass. We want to give our man a chance to close out. And this is the most important closeout in the NBA game. is this closeout right here. This is all game, every game. You got to be in, the ball moves, you'll be guarding the ball, passed, now you got to shift, now the ball's out, and now you got to play one-on-one and contain this guy. All right, that's a tough job. It's not easy, and that's why we hope the technique will get you through it, okay? So on that pass out, you're chopping your steps and closing out. You're going to drive, sorry about that, yep. So you're going to stay, you're rolled, you were just in pick and roll, and then you can just go down to like right about there. Now you're going to drive it, and it's just like a shell drill. You're coming across, and you're going to go verticality. So there's a rule in the NBA that you can jump straight up in the air, and as long as your hands are up, it's not a foul. Right? So we really emphasize defending without fouling, showing your hands, and using our length. That's very important to us, okay? So as much as you can, we want to show your hands. Let's go back to here, an important thing. So what did we say on the closeouts we wanted you to do? Touch distance, exactly. And that's great, and that's good physicality on the ball. But as soon as he drives, now that's a hand check, and that's a foul, okay? So that's where the hands drill part comes in. So we have an aggressive closeout where we're touch distance, and as soon as he drives, I'm showing my hands. I have my chest out and my palms up. If you put your palms up, it forces your chest out, and it doesn't allow you to reach in and foul, okay? So he's got his palms up, and he's showing his hands, and he's forcing them right into this big man who's going verticality, right? So as he goes, now what happens, right? You were on the weak side. You did a great job over here. You were aggressive and physical on the ball and pick and roll. You showed your four hands. Ball got skipped. So now you got to shift right here. What happens a lot of times is as the ball gets kicked out, you relax. It's a natural tendency, right? I did my job. I made that guy pass the ball. It's over with. Your job's not done. And that's the importance of this drill, is defending multiple actions. You got to stay engaged, right? So you did a great job with four hands. Ball goes out, close out. Now your job is this big, and you got to keep him off the glass. And that's a hard job, okay? So you want to get into his legs, not in a dirty way. You just want to be low for leverage, right? Your only advantage against him is being lower than him, which is an odd way of thinking about it. But if you're low and here, he doesn't want to jump, and he can't jump as well, okay? So that's what you want to focus on. You're going to go verticality, and you're just going to throw a shot up. Doesn't have to be real. It's just worrying about emphasizing the boards, okay, and showing your hands, okay? So let's walk through this. Let's do it a couple times. Let's hit it with a little pace. We'll see how we do, okay? What are you going to say? What are you going to communicate? Huh? Down. Down, down, down. All right, that's what we want. You're going to be loud and up and communicative. Okay, we ready? We're shifting. Here we go. Good. Hold up. All right, this is an important thing. That was a great job. You were trying to do a good job, but we don't want to get too engaged on this. All right, so your job is here at the nail. Just imagine that there's someone else. All right, one of your mates is down here, and he's going to take this guy. Okay, if you get sucked in too much, that's too long of a closeout. Right, so what we don't want is we don't want a two-way shift. So when we say that, we want you to be in early. Right, so you do your job as soon as the ball's past you right here, and you're stunting. You're in, you're out. You're not going to get engaged and get beneath that man. Okay, so you want to be here and then be able to close out. Okay, so let's do it one more time. Yes, and that's an important thing. That's a great call. Thank you. Take your time, offense. Take your time. Okay, we usually do this with coaches on offense. So if you have the resources, it's a lot better for coaches to be able to do it because you have a more control over it. You're able to slow it down, and then if they do make a mistake, you can correct them on the fly. Right? So if you have multiple assistant coaches, it's a great way to use them. Just throw them into the drills. All right, here we go, boys. Good. Touch distance. Good. 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 Skip pass. Close out. Hands. Verticality. Great. Great job, fellas. Great job. All right. Now let's go the next iteration of this. All right. So we usually will do this on a game-by-game basis. So we're doing this every day. We are what we emphasize. So we emphasize this to our team. Pick and roll defense is the most important thing in the NBA. All right. So sometimes to keep it fresh for them so it doesn't get boring, 82 times, 100 and some odd times through the year, we'll play a certain team that has good personnel. Like let's say the Boston Celtics that Coach Larinaga has, they have a bunch of good shooters at the bigs position. So instead of rolling this big every time, now we're going to have you pop, okay? So now we have a second closeout. So we got the pop. So let's go right here. You come set it. Down, down, down. Good. 4 hands. Pop back. Good. Throw it back to him. Yep. Now you're going to stunt, right? So you're going to come here, you're going to stunt, and then you're going to get back high hands. Your job, now you have a closeout, right? You were down here in the pick and roll defense, ball got thrown, and now you need to close out, high school closeout, okay? And you'll hold it a second, throw it. Now hold on. Now you're going to drive it. Now who's weak side bottom? It's you, yeah, exactly. So now you got to come over, and you fire, and you throw your hands up, and you go verticality, and you have to get him off the boards, okay? Here we go. Let's see if we can go through that one now. Shift with the ball, shift, 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 close out. Good stunt. Close out. Good. Finish it. Finish it with a rebound. Now, if you can get into his body a little bit more, right, try to get contact and keep him off the boards. Okay, and then as much as we can, I want to try to communicate just a little bit more on this one. I want to go one more time and see if you can do your best job communicating. I want to hear you screaming down, 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 okay? Talk to him. One last time. Here we go, boys. Great. Stunt. High hands. Great job. Vertical. So the next thing I'm going to talk to you about is I'm going to talk to you a little bit about offense, all right? And I'm going to talk to you about the thought process that goes in to creating an offensive set. All right, we have a play called bull small. Bull small is the call, and it's because coach doesn't like calling everything horns like everyone else does, so he changed it up a little bit, so it's bull. And then the small part denotes we're going to put our three-man, Gordon Hayward, right here at the elbow. All right, so can I just get one small right here? Doesn't matter. 59, Gordon Hayward, good, you're right there. All right, 55 right here with the ball, good. 52, can you go in the corner, please? 5-man right here. Over here. So one thing we do to change up is thinking about what's a framework for how you want to space the floor with your players. One of the things that I think is very important is playing to your personnel. Every team is different. Every team has a nice, unique skill set, and you have to find a way to make it work. I think it doesn't make sense to have, you should have some things that you believe in philosophically. Ours was defense. But on the offensive end, you should play to your strengths. And what type of players you have determines how you play. And for the Utah Jazz, we have two bigs. We have Rudy Gobert and Derek Favors, and neither one of them really have spacing to the three-point line. So that makes us kind of have to shuffle the deck a little bit and figure out how to score with them on the floor. And the other thing is to try to get your two best players involved as much as you can. So we would have Rodney Hood or our point guard have the ball, and then Gordon at the elbow. And we'd run this bull set. Now, that can be, if it's one of our players that can shoot out to three, he'll space out to three. Even if the guy can't shoot out to three, we'll have him stand here. And then if he needs to, on the fly to the pass, he can step in and shave down the shot. But we want to open the floor as much as possible. We want to create space, even if it's only artificially, because that guy can't shoot. All right, so now what we have is in bull small, we have 3 different options. And we like to run this late in the games because it gives us multiple ways of scoring out of one offense. So we don't have to call 3 different options. It's really up to them. What the point guard does dictates how the play goes. All right, so let's go the first option. All right, I want you to dribble off this screen right here by the 3-man. All right, as soon as you see that, you're going to fly off a flare from 5. So 5, flare him, yep. And we're going to look for a 3 right there, or we're going to look to turn the corner. Because most people, the way they guard small pick and roll is they hedge or they switch. Right? So either way, if we have a hedge, we have a chance to turn the corner. And if he hedges, he might be late chasing over this flare. Okay, if they switch it, we hope they make a mistake in the switch. Because you'd be surprised how many times NBA players make a mistake in the switch because they don't communicate. Right? And that's why we emphasize in the hands drill communication. Like how I wanted you to be loud, up, and long and active, okay? So that's our first option. And here's where I'll talk to you about a little about the way we designed the play and why it's like that. So now, right here, after he came off the flare, if you want to turn the corner, and this was our 4-man, and our 4-man couldn't shoot, his man might be right here, and you're not able to turn the corner. And we throw it there, and we have nothing really, okay? Play's dead. Now, if we put him over there, you think, oh, well, they'll just sag off him over there. That's fine, right? So he's here. If he comes in, now you can run in right behind. But more importantly, if we want to throw it to that man for 3, We just worked on the stunning drills. Well, if a big's down here, it's very difficult to stun up to a shooter. If this was a small, he's able to be here and maybe stunt, and they can figure it out and scramble. But we wanted to set it up where it would be difficult for this man to stunt, and he's down in the paint helping, okay? So now let's go through the second option that we have out of both small. Okay, so bring the ball up top. Now, a lot of teams like to weak pick and roll. They'll send them to their weak hand, their left hand. Okay, that's a lot of times why we have Rodney Hood up here, who's left-handed. Just beat him at their own game. If they want to send him left, good. That's where he needs to go. So let's just say they're weakening our point guard, who's right-handed, and they're sending him to his left hand. We have our 5 over here, and coming off pick and roll, and you're going to roll to the basket. And now we have 2 smalls, so we have 2 smaller players. A lot of times I said we make this our 2 guard, and we put our point guard over here. Now the people that have to be in on the pick and roll, like we just talked about, are smaller players, and we have more of an advantage. Now it's a little dicey on the spacing over there, but nothing's perfect. Now a lot of times what we have them do out of this instead is as you come off here, my man's back in a down like we talked about, right? As soon as you set this screen, you're going to go pin down right here for him, okay? So you're going to set that screen, and we're looking for a shot right there. So you to your left hand or throw back for shot. Now, if there's no shot, you can come right back into middle pick and roll, and we have a second action, okay? Now you can roll. So we talk about having multiple actions in everything we do, okay? We're trying to have the play not die. We want to have something so we're not just caught standing here with bad floor balance like Coach Demopoulos talked about, and we're stuck up here with nothing to do, okay? So let's go through that one time. Set the pin down for him and then get into a middle pick and roll. Oh, no. So you're going to set the screen. Sorry about that. Yeah, you're good. Yep. Here, one more time. Good. Now roll. Nice. Okay. So the third option you have is you can just throw it to the 5-man. All right? Now if you throw it to him, let's go pin down right here. And you're going to come off for a handoff. All right? You're going to come off for a handoff. And now you're going to turn the corner and you're going to roll. And you're going to pop back. Okay? So that's 3 options, almost 4, that you have out of one play. And it's something we like to run late in games to give us multiple bites at the apple, multiple things to do late in the game without having coach over there yelling wildly 6 different play calls. Okay? So let's go. It's on you. Whatever you want to do, you get them into it by coming off. All right? You key everything. Now see, now this is important right here. You didn't have to call anything, right? So we talked about the first option was you coming off this flare, right? So you're going to set the screen, then he's going to flare you. Okay? It's all right. You just learned it 2 seconds ago. You're fine. Yep, you're going to screen for him, 50. You're going to screen for him on the flare. Yeah. Yeah. Good talk. Keep talking to him. Great. And then with this offense, so we'll go in knowing what a team likes to do. So we'll scout an opponent and know how they play this pick and roll, how they play that pick and roll. And then into our practice that morning, we'll walk through the options we want to attack out of this and help give them a breakdown so they know what they're doing when they get out there. All right? So the last thing we'll do is we just kind of philosophically break down everything as much as we can. So we'll go through every option, make sure everyone's on the same page so there's not that kind of confusion when they get in the games. All right, we'll try to break it down into its component parts individually and then bring it all together as a group. So we'll do component shooting out of this. We'll get 2 or 3 shots and everyone gets a shot. Everyone has to make a pass out of this offense. And then also, when Gordon Hayward gets his shots up pregame, he'll practice this. His coach will go with him and coach will come off and he'll pop out here and he'll shoot. So we kind of try to build it all up so they have a pretty good understanding of how we want to run it, when we want to run it, and now the shots they're going to get out of it.
Would you walk through the whole play, all 3 or 4 options, and then go back and do one, or you do one and build to 4?
Build it up. So we would start with the flare, and it's funny, it's almost like the beauty sometimes with players is the players will teach you things that you didn't even see within your offense. If you just play a couple, like one of my favorite ways of teaching stuff is to put in that option, have them run it, and then see what happens if something gets to, like if you run a few times in a row, the defense is going to figure out what they're doing, and then they're going to start taking something away, and then you can naturally build up the next read. So, oh, this pass is taken away, I can run this. All right, now I can't go off him, they're weakening me, I'm going to go left, and we get that option. So it kind of builds up almost like that. And you kind of give it to them in one chunk, then they can play out of it. And then something might crop up naturally over the course of the game, and then you can build from there. But I don't think it's good to overload them at once with a bunch of options. Be good at one thing, and then add the next thing. Be the best way.